Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
There has been much talk recently about whether or not houses of worship are considered to be essential. I would say that it's not so much houses of worship that are essential, but a community is essential. And that is something that we don't need a building for. We can connect in so many ways and still stay safe and still be connected with each other. There's a story that Rabbi Stanley Wagner teaches. He said there was once a woman in the subway who suddenly fell forward when the car came to a stop, and she exclaimed in embarrassment, "I had nothing to hold on to." In our journey through life, we are frequently jostled as we take a curve or halt suddenly. What do we hold on to? Holding on to someone can be precarious, since a person can fall or move away. Some people hold on to their money to attain stability as life sways precariously. They think that by having a bank balance, they will attain a spiritual balance. In fact, the surest anchorage in life is our confidence and our trust in God, who is our rock and our Redeemer. Our religious faith provides us with the greatest equilibrium. If you want something to hold on to, grasp the Bible, embrace the mitzvot. We live in anxious and tense times, and we are in for a rocky ride. So hold on. We continue with our service on page 643 with Gesher Tsar Me'od. The entire world is but a narrow bridge. The most important thing is not to be afraid.
Kol ha'olam kulo Gesher Tsar Me'od, Gesher Tsar Me'od, Gesher Tsar Me'od. Kol ha'olam kulo Gesher Tsar Me'od, Gesher Tsar Me'od. Gesher Tsar Me'od, Gesher Tsar Me'od, Gesher Tsar Me'od. Kol ha'olam kulo Gesher Tsar Me'od, Gesher Tsar Me'od.
As we prepare to welcome in the Sabbath bride, let's take a little time to welcome each other. If you have access to be able to write in into the comments of the screen, feel free to introduce yourselves to each other. Our greeter, Bree Bahar, a member of the Board of Trustees, is happy to introduce herself to each of you. If you're new to joining us this week, let us know. People are happy to help you out if you get a little lost along the way. And why don't we look, as we come upon this Memorial Weekend, where we remember our soldiers who died in battle and service to our country, let's write something that we're grateful for about our country, about our servicemen, about the blessing of living in this place. And as we do that, we prepare to bring the Sabbath Queen into our midst as we sing her a song on page 138 with Lecha Dodi. We'll be singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Please join us.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad ishmi'anu el ha'meyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'litehila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekavela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha ki mekor ha'bracha lerosh miketem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshavot tefila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekavela. Hitoreri Kiva orech kumi ori uri shir daberi kevod Adonai nitla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekavela.
Oi v'shalom ateret ba'ala Am b'simcha uv'tzehola Toch emunei am segula Boi chala
Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekavela.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekavela.
On this Shabbat, as we light the Shabbat candles, we're thinking in particular of our bar mitzvah this weekend of Bryce Kagan and his parents, Jim and Gina, and thinking what a wonderful thing it is for our congregation to be able to celebrate this young man taking his place amongst the Jewish people as an adult. And so as we light the candles, the blessing can be found on page 120. We first sing Shalom Aleichem on page 142, and we pray that the angels of Shabbat are bringing a sense of peace and excitement and joy into all of our homes, but in particular the Kagan home tonight as they prepare for the blessing and joy of tomorrow. Please join us on 142.
Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hasharet Malachei Elyon Melech
Malachei Hamlachim
HaKadosh Baruch Hu Bochem L'Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner להדליק נר של Shabbat.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Amen. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Malachei Amachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We continue together with the Chatzi Kaddish on page 144.
Yitkada v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'almad yivrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei b'chol Beit Yisrael b'gala uv'zman kariv ve'imeru Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam lo me'amaya Yitbarach ve'ishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitala shmei d'kodeshah
Barichu
Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma ve'imeru Amen Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
We continue together with the Ma'ariv Aravim on page 148.
Lai 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidbaro ma'ariv aravim b'chokma poteach sharim ובתבונה משנה איתי ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים ומשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו וקיים,
תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני אמרי ברבי. לי 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 אמרי ברבי. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו לשוכבנו ולקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו ובהם נגן יומם ולילה. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
We continue together with the Ve'ahavta on page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We continue together on page 159. Sing the song of men and Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
Mi chamocha
Ba'elim Adonai, Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh,
Nora tehilot osef elem. Nora tehilot osef elem. Won't you help me sing
these songs of freedom, 'cause all I ever had, redemption song.
Malchutecha
Ra'u
banecha bokeh lifnei Moshe
u'Miriam,
Ze'eli
Anu
ve'amru
Adonai
lo
le'olam va'ed.
Won't you help me sing
These songs of freedom, 'cause all I ever had, redemption song, redemption song, redemption song.
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני
Baruch Shemo,
גאל ישראל.
We continue on page 160, asking for God to put over us a shelter of peace. The words can be found beginning on the third line down in the Hebrew and in the transliteration. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Spread over us the shelter of your peace.
ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ופרוס עלינו ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך.
We continue with the Vishamru on page 162, and I want to invite all the kids who are out there, not just our B'nai Mitzvah kids, but any of our religious school students who are joining us tonight, stand up, grab your Sidurim, grab your prayer books, and lead your family in the singing of Vishamru. Join us on page 162.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. Sheshet Yamim Asa Adonai Et Hashamayim Vet Haaretz Uvayom Ashvi'i Shabbat Shabbat Vayinafas Shabbat Shabbat Vayinafas V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat L'dorotam Be'erit olam Be'ni u'bein b'nei Yisrael Oti le'olam Oti le'olam.
We rise for the tefillah beginning on page 164.
Adonai shefatai tiftachu fi yagitei latecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu. Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarai, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei hakol, vezocher kasperot b'imahot, umevi geula lifnei bneihem, lema'an shemo be'ahava, melech ozer u'moshiach u'magin, baruch atah Adonai, magin Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atagibor le'olam Adonai, mechayei hakol, atarach le'oshia, morid hatal, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim berofei cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishen be'afar, mi chamocha ba'kevorot, umidom elach, melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'on atah l'chayot hakol, baruch atah Adonai, mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'kol yom, yehalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai,
We continue praying privately from page 172 through 180, either standing or sitting, as is your custom.
Shalom Al Yisrael Tasim Le'olam Shalom Al Yisrael וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך שלום רב על ישראל
Our thoughts and our prayers now turn towards those in our lives and those in our world who are in need of healing of body or healing of spirit. And as we think of our loved ones tonight, as we pray for either those we know who are ill, or perhaps we ourselves are suffering from physical illness or depression, let's remember to reach out to one another, to offer support, to offer help if that is what is needed. Let's stop with prayer. Let prayer be the beginning, but not the end, how we help those who are in need. We continue on page 371.
Mi sheberach avoteinu mi sheberach imoteinu mend our bodies, renew our spirits. We pray for healing for all those in need, refuah shlema, for all those in need,
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My parents died when I was in first grade. So from first grade through 12th grade, I lived in Laguna Beach with my siblings and my grandparents. In so many ways, I think of my life as before having lived in Laguna or afterwards. While it's a time filled with some happy memories, I don't think of it as a particularly happy time for me. It was a time of trying to figure out who I was and who I wanted to be. It was a time consumed with grieving the past and desperately anticipating a future that I prayed would be better than my present. And yet, so much of who I am was shaped by that time in my life. While I was living at the beach, what it felt like was that I was living in the middle of a wilderness, not a physical one, but certainly an emotional and a spiritual one. When I felt overwhelmed by life, I would go down to the ocean. There was a particular place that I loved to go to. Up on the bluffs above the beach, there was a giant triangular monument with a bench wrapped around its base. I would sit there and read, or simply stare out at the endless ocean in front of me, or watch the sunset, and I would find calmness and comfort in the vast blueness of the ocean. And I would daydream about what it would be like when I would finally set down roots. In Hebrew, the word for wilderness is midbar. This week's Torah portion and the book of Torah that we begin on this Shabbat are both known as Bamidbar, meaning in the wilderness. While this book does not garner as much attention as the other 4 books of the Torah, most of the 40 years of the Israelites' journey was spent in the time frame that occurs inside of this book. The book begins on the first day of the 2nd month in the 2nd year following the Exodus from Egypt. God spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai. And the book concludes with the Israelites beginning to prepare to enter the land of Israel. It's in the wilderness that we became transformed. We entered the wilderness as slaves, but we left it stronger than we had been before, finally ready to build a nation that was to be established on compassion and justice. So what happened in that space that transformed us and enabled us to grow and to mature? The word midbar, wilderness, is written exactly the same as the word medaber, speaking. It was when we were in the wilderness, the midbar, that we hear God medaber, speak to us. And it was what we heard there that changed us forever. In the wilderness, we heard Torah, and we learned the laws that would shape us and inspire us. In the wilderness, we learned what the purpose of our suffering was for. We suffered so that we would know empathy and that we would speak up for others who suffered as well. It was so that we would understand why there was an urgency to bring justice and compassion into the world. One cannot leave the wilderness untouched by what they have experienced. Whether talking about an individual or a society, it is in those in-between places where we discover our weaknesses and our strengths. The book of Bamidbar continues with a military census, a reminder to us that we didn't just wander for 40 years, but we also had to fight for our survival as well. The census divides the tribes into battalions and lists the names of the tribal leaders and how many men from each tribe were enrolled to serve. The monument above the ocean cliff where I love to sit and to think, it's a veterans memorial. The plaque that is on it reads, "This modest monument is dedicated to the memory of those who gave their lives that our nation might remain free. Our debt to them can never be fully paid. May their supreme sacrifice guide us now and forevermore." American Legion Post 222, May 30th, 1959. I am sure that most, if not all, of those from the American Legion Post 222 who created that monument in 1959 have probably long passed away themselves. And I've always found it interesting that unlike most veterans' memorials, they chose not to commemorate those who had died in a particular war or battle, but rather all who had died in service to our country. On November 10th, 2001, American Legion Post 222 placed a second plaque on that monument. And while it was put up just months after the attack on 9/11, they again chose not to commemorate a particular event. Rather, on that plaque are the words, "Dedicated to the memory of all the brave men and women who served in the armed forces of the United States during time of war or periods of national emergency." November 10th, 2001. This second plaque recognizes that there are times when our troops are called upon to step forward and risk their lives in ways other than in battle. This plaque honors not only those who have died during a war, but also when there are terrorist attacks, or responding to a natural disaster, or fighting devastating forest fires, or responding to a deadly virus. There are so many times in different ways that our troops are put into a terrifying wilderness of the unknown, where they risk their lives on our behalf. Right now, we are still in the middle of a national emergency, unsure when the danger will finally pass. And while most of us were ordered to work from our home and to remain sheltered, our troops were called to step forward and to fill the void in critical tasks. Right now, there are more than 40,000 members of the National Guard who are serving to protect us from the pandemic. This is the largest domestic deployment of the Guard since Hurricane Katrina in 2005. These troops have been going to nursing homes to test patients and staff. They've worked with mortuaries that have been overwhelmed by the loss of life. They have set up temporary field hospitals. They've worked at different testing sites. They've made sure that food and supplies get where they are needed the most, and they have provided medical information and help. They've worked with civilian manufacturing companies to produce personal protective equipment, and they have even helped state governments to process unemployment claims. So why did our ancestors feel that it was necessary to record a military census in our sacred text? Because to serve the greater good, to work for the well-being and the safety and the freedom of one's community, this is sacred work. The census in Parashat Bamidbar is like the monument that I love to sit at. It's meant to be an eternal memorial, a modest tribute to all those who have lost their lives or who stepped forward to protect us so that we and our nation might exist. It is a humble way of saying thank you. Both the census in the Book of Numbers and memorials made of brick and stone are tangible reminders that we do not exist in a vacuum or are part of just one particular time or place, but rather that we owe something to the courage that is displayed by so many individuals in each and every generation. We truly stand on the shoulders of all who have come before us. In some ways, we are always in a wilderness. We are always between what was and what might yet be, a place of not knowing, of transition, of hope and fear living side by side, never leaving the past fully behind us, and never fully rooted where we are now. This time over the last few months has demanded that we rethink things, question our priorities, ask what and who really matters to us. As a society, we have a new understanding of what is essential and what is not. This wilderness that we are in right now has reminded us of how important it is to look for blessings every day, to practice delayed gratification, and to find joy in simple things like grocery shopping and daily walks, and a new appreciation for things we too often took for granted, like sharing a meal with our loved ones or having a safe home to live in. We have the opportunity to transform ourselves right now, like our Israelite ancestors did, to become more than what we once were, to break off the shackles of a society that too often seems to value us only for the work that we can do, and instead become a society that values life itself. On this Shabbat of Memorial Day weekend, let us take the time to really honor and to remember all those who have guarded us during our individual and our collective journeys through wilderness and fear, through wars, and during times of national emergencies. And with humility, we should give thanks for all those who have bravely given their lives so that we might live in safety and in freedom. Zichronam livracha. May all of their memories forever be a blessing.
This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking a ribbon of highway, I saw above me an endless skyway. I saw below me a golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. I roamed and rambled, I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sand of her diamond desert, and all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As the sun comes shining and I was strolling, the wheat fields waving and the dust clouds rolling, a fog was lifting and a voice come chanting. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Nobody living can ever stop me as I go walking that freedom highway. Nobody living can ever turn me back. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
Yasher koach.
Yasher koach. Michael, I think my favorite part of the week is right after my sermon when you are singing. And then I remember I have to write another sermon next week, and then I'm less happy.
Enjoy the moment.
Yeah, I try. So Shabbat Shalom. Greetings from our Board of Trustees. I am sure that Bree has already welcomed everybody in our chat room. So just some brief announcements about things coming up over Shabbat, over Memorial Day weekend and this coming week. We continue to celebrate Shabbat tomorrow morning with Torah study led by Michael Lewis at 10 a.m. And others of us at 10:30 will be leaving Torah study to go to celebrate Bryce Kagan becoming a bar mitzvah. Shabbat services begin at 10:30. On Monday, the Jewish community will be observing Memorial Day. The service has gone virtual. We will not be having the service at Home of Peace Cemetery, but rather community rabbis and cantors will be leading the service via live stream. The service begins at 11 a.m. Please look at the Federation website for details. I will also post the link on my Facebook page and on the CBI Doing Jewish page. Our Mayor, Darrell Steinberg, will also be participating in our observance on Monday. Next Thursday night, we have found a hidden blessing in going virtual, which is the area rabbis have been speaking about for years about the importance of us coming together to do Tikkun Leil Shavuot, to study together on the evening of Shavuot. And now we can finally do it. So on Thursday night, as we welcome in Shavuot, the Federation and Sacramento and Yolo County and Tahoe congregations will all be coming together. We have a fabulous evening planned for children, teens, and adults. The children's section starts at 5 o'clock, and they'll be doing something from 5 to 5:45. And Denise Creven, our Director of Education, will be facilitating the first part of the program beginning at 5. There'll be a teen program at 6 p.m., and Cantor Steinberg, rabbinical student Michael Lewis, and I will be leading the first adult learning session at 7 p.m. The whole night will be going into 1 a.m. with different teachers every 45 minutes. Please check our website and the Federation website for details and for links. If you register in advance, again, on the Federation website, you could register. Then you'll get sent a link for Thursday night. But unfortunately, you're going to have to bring your own cheesecake because we cannot share it with you virtually. That's like the one sad thing about this is no cheesecake. Tonight, we're also going to be trying something new and something fun. The thing that people miss the most about services is the oneg. And so we're going to do a virtual oneg starting this Shabbat, and we're hoping to continue this as long as we're virtual. It's a chance for us to talk together in a big group and then into small chat rooms so you could get to know people that perhaps you didn't know before. And it's a wonderful thing that is being brought to us by our membership committee. I believe that Davida is probably online, and if Davida is not online, then Bree, I'm going to ask you to put into there the link for our CBISacramento.org, and you could find all the information on the front page of CBISacramento.org. You'll find the link to join the Zoom oneg tonight. Again, my apologies, but you got to bring your own brownies or schnapps or whatever it is that you enjoy at the oneg. It's probably the only time you could have a little herring on rye bread and no one will be offended by the smell. Immediately following services is when the oneg will begin. So the faster I stop talking, the quicker you guys get to start talking. And so, it's the truth. That's what everybody thinks during announcements, which is how fast is this going to go to the oneg? But we have still important things to do. And so we turn in our prayer books and our Sidurim to page 586. For the Aleinu, it could be found on the bottom half of page 586. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Our thoughts now turn towards loved ones who are no longer with us. And it is with sadness that we recall the recent passing of a longtime member of our congregation, Jerome Jerry Gutterman, the beloved father of Michael Gutterman and Jamie Edelin, beloved grandfather of Alex and Max Gutterman, and Jake, Brian, and Luke Edelin, and beloved brother of June and Bruce Gutterman. Also with sadness, we recall the recent passing of Elaine Chenier, the beloved mother of Jay Chenier, beloved mother-in-law of Bina Lefkowitz, and beloved grandmother of David and Noah Chenier. Also with sadness, we recall the recent passing of Bert Jacobs, the beloved father of Gary Jacobs, beloved father-in-law of Kelly Tabor, and beloved grandfather of Nate and Zane Jacobs. Also with sadness, we recall the recent passing of Bonnie Kutschenreuter, the beloved aunt of Sean and Jody Rubenstein Ward. And sadly, we also recall the recent passing of Harriet Buxbaum Narens, the beloved mother of Molly Narens Ross, beloved mother-in-law of Peter Ross, and beloved grandmother of Jessica Ross and Naomi Ross and Jeremy Loeb, and beloved great-grandmother of 2. And as also with sadness, we recall the recent passing of Ari Tanner, the beloved cousin of Bree and Billy Bahar and Ethan Lang. Zichronam livracha. May their memories forever be a blessing. We also recall loved ones who have passed away at this time in years past. We remember Alfred Effel, Etolai Ayach, Doris Bloom, Najima Shetrit, Robert Cohen, Albert Cahotis, Crystal Droscher, Eugene Dworkin, John Eisen, Etta Greenberg, Alice Hillard, Hattie Himmelreich, Eva Horovitz, Lillian Caldor, Albert Cantor, Faith Kohler, Aaron Krotinger, Philip Levy, Stanley Macht, Jay Macht, Eleanor Mandelson, Cecilia Marks, Ruth Miller, Josephine Miller, Joseph Miller, Hilda Novik Fratis, Meyer Pasternak, Raymond Pettengell, Esteban Ramirez, Sam Riedman, Alan Rosoff, Sam Sankary, John Shannon, Leo Shemansky, Manning Slater, Sarah Tall, Seymour Ulansey, Leonard Wangro, Heidi Williamson, and Bella Zimmerman. And on this Shabbat of Memorial Day weekend, we also offer a special prayer of remembrance for those who died in service to our country. We remember our people who suffered and died so that we could be free and secure. May their memory be more than a distant shadow. For their dreams left unfulfilled and lives taken too soon, we remember. We remember our brothers and sisters whose sacrifice kept the dream of democracy and justice alive. May their courage be our inspiration and our strength. For life cut short and vision unrealized, we remember. Remember the fallen of our armed services, the victims of terror and tragedy. May the darkness of their loss not obscure the light of peace. They were in love with our land and in love with life. For the agony, the tears, the mothers and the fathers, for the children who were, and for the children yet to be, we remember. And for those of you who would like to add the names of your loved ones, please feel free to say their names aloud or to write their names in the chat and let us know who they were to each of you. For those of you who are saying Kaddish for a loved one tonight, I invite you to please rise. And I ask everyone else to please join in these words of comfort. Hamakom yenechem etchem betok sha'ar avlei Tzion v'Yushalayim. May God comfort you among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. We all stand in solidarity and comfort with those who grieve. We pray that they know that they are in our hearts, even if we are not standing by their side. We continue together with the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam umei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei tekudsha, barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say,
Amen.
Amen. We close our service as we opened it with Gesher Tsar Me'od on page 643, because a bridge has two sides. It has a beginning and an end.
Nice.
And I think we made it through the middle. You know why, Cantor?
Why?
Because the most important thing,
Is to not.
Never
not be afraid. Page 643.
Kol haolam kulo gesher tzar me'od, gesher tzar me'od, gesher tzar me'od. Kol haolam kulo gesher tzar me'od, gesher tzar me'od. V'ha'ikar v'ha'ikar lo lefached, lo lefached klal. Ha'ikar v'ha'ikar lo lefached klal.
העיקר, העיקר, לא לפחד לה.
כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
shalom.
Don't forget to go to the oneg.
And wash your hands.
We got an oneg.
We got an oneg.